What if you have nothing to prove to anybody? Who would you be?
Oh, my sister, it is time. Stand up.
This gets neutral. So I just wanted to spend a bit of time on that because it's been really big for me this week. I literally made a list of like, so here's how I would recommend. Here's the process. I would say to your client, or you can do this for yourself. We've talked about this before, but here's where I would do it is right here. If they've done desire, they say, this is what I want. Aren't you angry? Yeah, I'm so angry. Don't you have pride and dignity? Aren't you worth more? Don't you deserve a good life? Yes, I do. What would courage have you do? Now, I'm not doing it. Okay, so let's not go back down. Let's go up. And in that land, let's now look at, well, what are all the unconscious commitments you've made to not being that? Let's look at all the unconscious stories you've taken in over the course of your life about that, about women who are like that, or people who do that. I mean, think about the stories we have from the meek shall inherit the earth. Money is the root of all evil. Like, if you just think about all of the beliefs we were told, like, and I just can't believe how many I even believed up until a certain point that I've only just started really breaking down and going, I don't even know if I believe that, like, at all anymore. So make a list of all the things you really, really want. And in fact, if you're not even sure, just make a list of everything you might want, from the car you might want, to the job you might want, to the money you might want, to the marriage you might want, to the lover you might want, to the body you might want, to the clothes, to the bags, to the relationships, to the, just make a list. And in fact, just make, like, it can be 10 pages long. It would be fun. Then say them out loud. I want. And as you say it, what's going to give you is a frame of reference where you're going to start to read the list and be like, I want that one more than I want that one. You're actually going to feel it as you're writing it and you're saying it out loud. You're going to be like, I really want that. Actually, again, you can feel it. So you have to say it out loud. Trust me with this. You have to say, I want whatever it might be. I want to feel better. I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to live in a warm climate. I want to write a book. I want to become a New York Times bestselling author. I want to become an empowerment coach to the stars, to celebrities. I want, it doesn't matter. Just make a list. I want to be a great mom. I want to feel good in my own skin. I want to make just enough that I can take a 6-week holiday to Croatia every year. I don't know why I just said that. Is there anybody from Croatia here? I don't even know why I just said that. I just popped into my head. Whatever the list is, and then you'll go along. And here's what you do. Pull the ones out that are a 10. There's going to be 7s and 8s and 9s in there, like on a scale of 1 to 10. There's going to be a lot. You're going to realize, well, that's actually not a 10. Pull out the 10s. And then, so you say you want to lose 30 pounds. Let's just do that one. So you say you want to, I'm going to come right back to you, Catherine. I promise. I saw your hand. Stay with me. So you say you want it, but now let's get neutral and ask yourself the truth about what you've been taught about this. What do you really deep down believe about this? Do you believe it's possible? Do you believe it's probable? Do you believe it's hard? Do you believe it's going to be worth the work? Do you believe, and until you can, and if you're not doing what you say you want to do, you literally have to look in and say, because I don't believe it's safe or smart. I don't actually think this is smart for me to do this. And I'm going to now have to do some cognitive restructuring, which is in this book, The Emotional Edge. Cognitive restructuring is right on page. Let me find it. I'm going to tell you the exact page. Cognitive restructuring is on, here it is. Cognitive restructuring, page 126. One of the ways you can do this is to pull out your journal and ask yourself questions such as, like, here's how we would do it. Let's say it's around the way you're responding to something. Is my response in proportion to the actual event? What evidence is there that this is real? What evidence that this belief might not be realistic? What meaning am I giving to this belief or this event? What am I making it mean about me? Is there another way to look at this from a different perspective? If I were to look at this belief from the 30,000 foot view, from my old wise woman view, from my most empowered self view, if I were to look at this belief and I were to look at it from a distance, what would I see? If it were someone else telling me that they were scared to write the article because people would think she was a fraud, what would I say to her? What would I say to her, Catherine? If you had a client that had a mastectomy and you had a magazine and you asked her to write for you in your magazine, and you know she had a double mastectomy, she's a young woman, and she said to you, I was asked to write for our magazine, let's just say, and she would say, but I think I'm a fraud. What would you say to her to help her realize that's a limiting belief that isn't true? It's not serving you.